Call the meeting to order.
Jenkins.
Here.
Demars. Harden. Testory.
Here.
Kelley.
Here.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing on this evening's agenda is the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. Call it.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Kelley.
Yes.
Testory.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion we adjourn the outgoing council.
Second. Call it.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Kelley.
Yes.
Testory.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We'll have this new council members step forward to take the oath of office. If anyone would like to take any pictures, you're free to come up here as well. Sir, you can get right up there if you'd like.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
If you raise your right hand and repeat after me, I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Council Member according to the best of my ability. Okay, that's it.
There being no unfinished business, we move to section 3, new business.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 980, ordinance repealing ordinance 964, special user liquor license.
Second. Discussion.
This was done because of the Heritage Days, and we want to make sure that mixed drinks were allowed down there with beer. So the only changing in this ordinance is the wording of beer came out and alcoholic liquors was replaced into that ordinance.
No other changes.
No other changes.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Coffey.
Yes.
Kelley.
Yes.
McKinley.
Yes.
Testory.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2017-13, intergovernmental agreement with Blue Ridge School District for school resource officer.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. Do we have a problem with Mansfield? Do they get this officer too?
Yes, they do.
But they're not in our, they're in a different county. I thought that was an issue. Somebody told me about that one time, and I don't know who that was, but in the past. That's a little bit.
It's come up that she doesn't have the policing powers in Pike County that she has in DeWitt County.
Is that a problem? I mean, at the school, have we ever had an issue with that, or has it
Have we
ever
ever
come
had
up?
From time to time, they do have some issues, but what's decided on that is Pike County Sheriff's Office is called in if there's a criminal matter that has to be addressed right there. And that was the agreement not only with the school, but with Pike County.
So Pike County is fine with the school resource
Yes.
officer being, okay.
Now the pay within, we were, help me with the pay. Was it last year or the year before we were billing them for double, so?
There was a period of time that we were overbilling them, and they were paying at 100%. And the contract called for 50%. And we were splitting the costs and things. So the school district has overpaid for the SR position. So right now, we're doing a catch-up with them, so they basically have a credit with us, and that's what we've been working out. So I've talked to the school, the superintendent, and the lady that handles the bookkeeping. We've got that straightened out now.
Any other discussion? Call it.
Coffey,
Yes.
Kelley,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Tesori,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Make a motion to approve 2017-14, the 2017 motor fuel tax program.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
This is the routine oil and chip program, spray patch. Also, there'll be some culverts installed for this year. And you see the copy of the MFT resolution in front of you. There should have been a copy in your packet.
What are we gonna, oil and chip?
I can, I'd have to go print off a list of the streets, if you know the exact list.
I know we have a lot of streets in this town that have a lot of oil and chip on them, that maybe need to be taken down to the base pavement and everything and start over again. Water Street's one, Plum Street's another. I always regret that I ever voted to ever do Plum Street. It should have been stripped down to the brick and started over. Because it's taking away the curb, there's no place for the water to go, and you can't keep doing this all the time. Somewhere you gotta give and say, no, I'm not gonna do that, we're gonna fix it in a different way.
And we have checked, and unfortunately, IDOT has changed some of their standards, and if you start doing curb work, then you have to do sidewalk rehabilitation with it, and they've gotten very expensive, and I know what you're talking about those 2 or 3 blocks. We are doing, it is planned to do some major work over on Maple after that sewer goes in. That street will get tilled and completely redone, so we're trying to make some improvements on the streets. If you do want an exact list, I can print one off.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too.
With the take the grind, I know like Water Street, there used to be 6-inch curbs there, and now they're about that tall.
Right. You'd have to get in there with the mill.
It's a major machine.
The only bad areas would be if there's any concrete patches in there, because the mill won't go through the concrete patches. That makes it kind of rough. But
Gotcha.
There shouldn't be, because that's all brick underneath there.
if there's any,
There's brick probably in the, it'd be in the 300 block, because that was a block that was always, had a lot of water leaks on it, so they came down there and fixed those and put a lot of patches in there. But on the 200 block where he lives at, that wouldn't be so much, maybe even going up to Main Street, it wouldn't be so much there. But there's brick underneath that street. There's brick all the way down to Washington Street. And you got a good base there. You just need to expose it. Like I said, it's gone away. Since I lived down there, it's deteriorated. It's bad. You need to have that.
Have we ever priced out what it would cost to like really rebuild the whole road? I mean,
well, I guess it would honestly depend on what it is you would want done, just to come in and let's say they took that surface off of there that's on there, then the mill's going to get into the brick. So that brick surface might be, damaged or ruined. Then I don't know if you go back and oil and mix it or what you'd end up doing. You'd have to see, I guess, in all honesty, what you'd have after that mill ran across it.
do we do this every year? Spend this kind of money on oil and
Yes.
chip?
Yeah.
So if we did like resurface roads, would we have to do oil and chip every year if we looked into like just resurfacing and trying to get some of the bad roads?
Generally, you have about 50 to 60,000 a year to spend in your MFT allotment. So, and that really doesn't go very far. It depends on the price of crude oil more than anything. So, now you could skip a year, but with some of these roads, depending on how bad the winter is, it's awfully hard to skip a year. The water gets in there and then they fall apart. So.
You want to entertain tabling this until you know what roads are going to be done? Willard?
Yeah. So I move we table this to the next meeting.
A second.
Is
Is there any discussion on tabling this? Call it.
Calling just to table it?
This is voting to table it, yes, ma'am.
McKinley?
Yes.
Testor?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Coffey?
Yes.
Kelley?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Sorry, I mean, that's the only time I do that,
Make a motion to approve, make a motion to approve 2017-15 pharmaceutical haunted forest.
I'll second.
This is just a simple resolution acknowledging the haunted forest that was out there last year. They've asked to come back out this year. In essence, we're setting aside the closing hours of the park, knowing that they'll be there for an extended period of time. So,
Has this changed any from last?
just the days that's being held.
It's been shortened up by an hour because
That's what I was thinking.
yeah. Need to ask Joe, is there a conflict with me voting on this?
Scott, I don't think there is. You've indicated to me that your wife is involved in this project, but she is a pure volunteer. She has no ownership interest. She takes no salary, has any income from it. You don't derive any income from it. You don't own it. She doesn't own it. There's no money passing hands from the city to anybody with respect to this. It's simply allowing the hours to be changed. So based upon you don't have any ownership interest in it, your spouse has no ownership interest, you don't get any income, your spouse doesn't get any income from it, she's simply a volunteer. I don't believe it is a conflict of interest for you to vote on it.
Thank you.
Any discussion, more discussion? I thought it was a fun event. Worked hard on it. Call it?
Testor?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Coffey?
Yes.
Kelley?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve 2017-16, accepting bid for the 2007 Chevrolet Impala.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Where is it advertised at?
In the legals, was in down in the Clinton newspaper.
And that's the only place?
Yes.
Is this the one the transmission is going on?
No, the motor's bad in this. It literally doesn't run.
Any other discussion? Call it?
Jenkins?
Yes.
Coffey?
Yes.
Kelley?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Testor?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-17, approving an offer of judgment with Andrew Deno.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
Joe Chamley, City Attorney, I recognize that there are some new city council members, and this has been discussed obviously in executive session a time or two, and if there are questions for me, I think it would be from the council, I think it would be appropriate if someone moved to go into executive session pursuant to the litigation section of the appropriate statute to have for me to answer those questions fully, quite frankly.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion on moving into an executive session? You'll help us fill in the numbers.
Absolutely, it's for purposes of discussion of pending litigation.
When you're ready, call it?
Kelley?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Testor?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Coffey?
Yes.
Motion carried.
We're good. We are back in open session. Was there any further discussion on 2017-17? Let me just ask this question real quick, and I'm going to read this out loud. It says, the insurance carrier is authorized to resolve the dispute with Andrew Deno for $20,000 with no admission of liability or wrongdoing, and said insurance carrier paying for all of the $20,000 with no deductible or contribution by the city of Farmer City. So, two questions. One, The city is not, there's no financial ask from the city itself, correct?
That is correct.
And with no admission of liability or wrongdoing, the city is saying that there is no liability and we've done nothing wrong. There's no admission of guilt, correct?
That is correct.
Very good. I don't think I have any further questions. Call it when you're ready.
Kelley,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Coffey.
Yes.
Don't even say Erin.
Yeah. Every time you say McKinley,
I know.
I get screwed up.
We are now in section 4, other items, city manager's report.
We've recently posted for sealed bids in the Clinton paper for the installation of some corrugated pipe for out there in the detention basin. Farnsworth came up with a plan. We'll connect the 2 inlets, take it clear over to the outlet. That low flow water that normally travels in that open ditch will be in the corrugated pipe. When you have a heavy rain like we recently experienced, that'll go through the open ditch. We've reached out to the Walsh Farm because this pipe will connect directly into their drainage system, and they don't have any issues with us doing that. So there again, we've got those posted for bid. We've also put that on our website. Also going along with that, recently met with Rob Schmidt. He's the CEO of Gibson Area Hospital. He was out at the doctor's office. We walked that area out there. The neighbors out there, they wanted some type of off-street parking, so if we put the park out there, they could sit in their cars and watch their children. So we're working with them to come up with a plan on enlarging their parking lot. CEO, he's good with having us do that. That'll help them. And there again, moms and dads, they can sit there and watch their kids. Their parking lot's in bad shape. I met with the Illinois Department of Transportation. I actually met with them again today. You see that May 15th through the 17th, the 4-way railroad crossing out there at the 4-way intersection will be removed. The signal gates, the battery boxes, that old nasty light pole, it's all going to come out. There will be a detour through town. They're going to come down Allen Street and Center Street. They expect that work will be super fast. Also meeting with them today, they're talking about doing some rework up on Plum Street. The proposal is, if you notice how the semis cut across ADM's lot, they're going to realign Plum, and then they will, if St. Anne Township grants permission, they'll remove that side of the intersection. New signal gates will go in there as well. The ICC says that those signal gates are not effective because if you're on Plum, you can actually drive through them. So that is something that they are currently working on. That's still in the planning stage. The ICC also has granted a letter to start removing the tracks and that road bed. We just recently talked about that. We passed a resolution. That letter's just come down out of Washington just last week. You see the water department's continuing to install water meters. We just bought about $4,800 worth of water meters. Last week was the IMEA meeting in Springfield, and the city employees just last week received some continuing training on confined spaces since they'll be starting that Maple Street sewer back up again. They wanted to get that done, and bloodborne pathogens as well. They're working, doing a little bit of work up at the swimming pool, getting ready for that. At the end of May, the pool fires up. And one last thing is that today, Emo had called, and he's inquired a couple times about a liquor license for out there at his restaurant. We had one liquor license on the books, and the Fish Wagon purchased that liquor license, so we would have to change the ordinance. So I don't know what you folks would want to do with that. We can bring that back in 2 weeks.
Does the Fish Wagon keep purchasing the liquor license?
Yes.
They just keep buying it and determine when they're going to use it?
Yes.
I thought that had already been voted on to
I thought we voted on
pass
the
for
liquor license
emos.
earlier.
No, we had discussion on it, but
No vote.
don't believe that we voted to change the ordinance.
Do we have at least 2 council persons who would like to see that brought before the council to discuss and vote on?
this would just be a package, or not,
If you went and bought a meal, then you could have a drink. You just couldn't go in and have a drink.
okay, so it's not gonna have a bar in it?
No.
It's-
No.
And no hard liquor, I assume, just
beer.
It is just beer only?
That's what he asked for.
so I assume beer and wine, correct?
Yeah, beer and wine.
Do we have two council persons who'd like to discuss it? See it brought before the table to discuss and then vote?
Yeah, I'll discuss it.
Okay. And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
What we would ask for is that at the next city council meeting, that the change in the ordinance be brought up to, for the table to be voted on, and we'll discuss it at that time.
Okay.
Are there any questions to the city manager's report?
About the water meters, do we have a list of what water meters are still not functioning at this point?
They get a list every month, Erin.
Okay.
I believe it's a very small list compared to what it had been over the years.
I think 100 people,
No,
50?
I wouldn't even say that there's 50. I've been very aggressive about getting the water meters to work.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see this done like in the next few months, because I feel like we've had years to do this, and I mean, it's just a tremendous amount of money I feel like the town's losing by not having these water meters fixed.
Well, these are radio read. What they're doing is installing radio read meters, but...
So these are ones that can be like driven by and
Yes,
read,
yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And are we trying to change the whole town into
Yes.
those?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as you can see, in a electric meter's like $92, and the water meters are $200.
Right.
And so you kind of have to order these in moderation,
Right.
just due to
Are they
the...
changing electrical meters now too?
Yes. I believe that 3/4 of the town, electric-wise, has been completed. And a lot of those have been refurbished radio read meters, get them a little bit cheaper, guaranteed.
There's a guarantee on them?
On the refurbished, yes. They guarantee
Because
it.
I know
How long
Wally
do they
said,
guarantee them for?
I can't tell you what that...
Wally said that they had gone up in price since the last time we ordered them or whatever, so I guess I just wonder why we aren't just ordering what we need.
I guess when we do this, I look at, I don't want them coming back and better like, well, I don't want the bitching to start, because, and you don't either. Nobody here in City Hall wants everybody to come back and complain. There's already enough complaints probably of people complaining about their water and everything, and always has been. I'm not using that much water now, well, maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But usually anybody I've ever talked to, any community that's ever had these remote reads, says that, we're talking to the water department head, these are dead on, and they work. And if you're using 6,000 gallons of water a month, you only think you're using 2, then you're using 6, so you can't understand, so it's there. But I want to make sure if they're refurbished, that they are in top shape, and how long these things last, which I've never asked that before, but I guess I will ask it now.
No, the water meters are new.
Okay,
The
they're
electric are the refurbished.
Well, even okay, let's talk about the electric then. If they're, how long do they last? Either one of them doesn't make any difference to me. How long before we have to replace or anything like that. Just curious.
I think that there again, we've had 3/4. I believe we've got right at 3/4 of the community done, and maybe 10 of those refurbished ones have malfunctioned.
So we're reading them now. Is our current reader reading them with a remote?
Yes.
Reader and everything?
We have 2 of those.
2 of those.
Yes. We originally only had 1, and if it ever malfunctioned, then obviously that put the utility building behind schedule. So we purchased a second one of those about a year ago.
I would think anytime I've ever heard anything about this, it's a half a day to read them, or the cop car, and you put it into the police car, and whoever drives around at night in the police car can, they drive all over town, they can read the meters with and then turn it in the morning. And so, I'm sure, I've talked to more than one.
It'd be nice to get to that point in our town where we could have the police officers, that are on duty.
If it's in the police car, that's one thing to be driven around. I've heard other towns that take the golf cart and drive around town and going along and reads them all in a half a day.
Right.
So, Since we have a golf cart ordinance and everything, we can do that here in town.
Any other questions or discussion about the city manager's report?
Yes, and I don't know about the report, but I got a question for the city manager. I'd like to have the IMEA's phone number for one, and I'd like, does Dr. Miller still work there?
He's retiring this year, yes.
Is the DeWitt County paper, the Clinton Journal, the one paper we're advertising in now for bids?
For legal publication, yes.
Can we expand that to other papers, get better coverage?
I think that's,
Then it would be the News Gazette or the Anagraph, and it gets awfully expensive.
What about Muhammad Citizen or like the, Leeward Farmer City Press, Muhammad Citizen paper?
Yeah, we could put it in Muhammad. If it's a true legal notice, we're obligated to put it in the Clinton paper.
I understand, when we're asking for bid work, I think we need better coverage than just the Clinton Journal.
yeah, I think so too. And Leroy has a daily or something like that, don't they even still? They don't anymore?
It's a weekly.
It's a weekly. So if we could put it in there even too.
Leroy has a paper?
Yes.
Yeah, it's still invited to watch.
They had two of them. They've always had two of them.
Oh, okay. Wasn't aware of that.
I was saying, when we're doing big jobs, we need to get better coverage.
Yes.
Well, we put it on our website, and that did get us one response. So people do check our website.
But
I have a question on this railroad stuff, Larry.
Yeah,
When they come in and remove the rails, are they gonna clean the trees up and stuff that's there also?
they'll have to in order to get the
The ties out?
road bed up and everything, yeah.
It's a mess. I mean, it seems like a lot more work than it's worth, but
Well, the story goes is that when the Norfolk Southern man came, he thought that the IC track was their track. And so they wanted flaggers and everything, and the IDOT guy had to go over and say, no, your track is covered with trees. So, but the structures stay, and then that's for the walking path, should that ever happen.
Anything else to the manager's report? Any non-agenda items or other business?
the only thing I will say, I will not be to let the camera know this, and I will not be doing anything on Facebook, and don't expect it. It's nothing but trouble. There's enough people in this room that can get in trouble.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second it.
When you're ready, call it.
Jenkins?
Yes?
Erin? Kelley?
yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Testori?
Yes.
Motion carries.